Hi. Rory had asked me to comment on the cover of the dodopad, so I will do so. It is a nice sturdy cardstock. It's glossy on the outside, so if you spill on it, it's not going to do anything. But I don't think that this is going to survive trundling around in your bag with a bunch of other stuff getting sort of chucked around and everything. By the way, this blue color, it's much more sort of green blue than this. I don't know why the camera is sort of washing out the color, but it's much more of a like mint than a pale blue. So anyway, I think it would be okay. It's great as a desk diary. I'm not sure about a carry around. My other concern with this is that the spiral binding gets bent out of round pretty easily, and when that happens, the pages can be very difficult to turn, especially if you're trying to flip quickly from week to week. So, but there's a couple of options here. You can buy from Dodo. Lord Dodo will sell you a slip cover. You can get one made in leather or one made out of pleather at different price points. They look quite nice, and your covers slip into that. So that'll give the cover protection. So I think it would survive sort of day-to-day use better. The other option that I think is probably the better option is to get the loose leaf version. Lord Dodo makes his own, the dodopad, P-O-D, that has the sort of standard, what I always think of as sort of European school notebook, double, two-hole punch. It's a binder with 2 rings. You pop your pages in. I think they're offering a great deal right now. It's something like £15. You get the 2012 dodopad. You get 5 dividers. You get 50 pieces of note paper to match, and the binder. So I think that's about $25 or something. That seems pretty much a slam dunk. The other option is that you can, of course, get an A5 size Filofax insert and pop it into your A5 binder, or you could get a personal size, which I've really thought about doing, but I think that the grid, they don't reform the grid, they just shrink it to fit onto the Filofax size page. So if you look at the difference, if I get out a Filofax page, let me just get something we can look at here. We'll look at my work current projects. The difference in size between a Filofax page and this page. Now these boxes are pretty much about as small as I would want them to be. If you shrunk it down to fit on this, it would be tiny. So I think, and this sort of helps to give a sort of sense of the size difference. This is a personal size closed. This guy closed. Put them on top of each other. It's quite a bit bigger, but it's not massive. I still think it's quite portable, especially because it's quite thin. The best thing about this is the design is tons of fun. It does have a full year to view, so you can sort of chart out your year here. Each week you've got your 5 columns plus fairly generous margin space. You've got a page over here that you can jot notes into, or you can draw flowers like I did. I've got this set up. I've got a column, my partner's got a column, our pets, the house, and bills, so that, we can, as we do things, we can just jot them in so the other person knows what's been done. What I would probably do if I was carrying this around myself would be to do something like morning, lunchtime, afternoon, evening, and night, and then just jot what you're doing during those time slots into the grid. You could also do something like to-dos, appointments, I don't know, whatever you want. So I think it's pretty flexible. You can use it, and you can easily write over the lines, which I'm sure I've done. Yeah, like right here, you can just sort of ignore the line. Like if both of us are going to something, I just ignore the lines and write it across. So you could do that too. You can just sort of ignore the columns and just use it as like a week on one page plus notes. The other thing I like about this is the paper. This is actually really nice paper. It's not like sort of shiny paper like that sort of high-end French paper like Clairefontaine, but I like that better because when you write on it with a wet fountain pen, the ink dries, it soaks into the paper and dries immediately, but you get absolutely not the slightest sign. A lot of this is actually fairly darkly written fountain pen ink. There is not the slightest, there's no bleed through whatsoever, or even really show through. So they've managed to do that while also the paper itself is not excessively heavy. It feels pretty normal to me, but it's nice. So it's good sturdy paper. It's a fun design to use. Every week looks different. They make me smile. I mean, I really love turning the pages in this. This is the coolest planner on the market, hands down, which was partially why I needed to own one. I mean, I'm just, every day it makes me happy. I am strongly considering getting one of these to carry around with me. I'm getting pretty annoyed. I love this Filofax, but let me get away from my personal cards. Both the Filofax pages and the Daytimer pages are absolutely piss poor quality paper. You cannot write on them with even a gel ink pen shows through and bleeds through. So I think they've tried to make thin paper so that you can fit more pages in, but I would rather just carry less pages and have decent paper. So I'd pretty strongly considered getting the personal size insert, but like I said, the grid is just too small. I think it won't work. So I'm kind of at the moment I'm thinking about maybe I'll get one of the loose leaf binders, the loose leaf dodopad system, which is so cheap right now, or I might buy an A5 size Filofax insert and get an A5 size Filofax to carry it in, because I really, this just makes me happy, and I think it would work pretty well for me. So anyway, that's where I'm kind of at with this right now, but just wanted to share and answer Rory's question. I'm not sure I would really want to carry this particular version in my bag with me every day, but I love everything else about it. So definitely look into the loose leaf versions, definitely look into those slip covers that are really quite handsome. And of course, if you've carried around a spiral planner before and it worked for you, the other thing, the spirals, I would think when you're putting it in and out of a bag are going to get caught on things in the bag, so that's just another consideration. But it does not come with a pen loop. I bought this separately. It's just one of these self-adhesive jobs, which is pretty handy to have. I've just got a Frixion point in there. But I use the fountain pen in it all the time, and the paper loves it. So that's my quick little review. Thanks.